Hi, welcome back. For those of you that know me, I'm excited to see you again. For those of you that don't, my name is Kelsey, and today, as surprising as it is already April, and it's time to do a March wrap up and an April TBR. So that's what we're going to be knocking out today. So I'm really excited to kind of jump in and talk about the books that I read. I was reading like 7 different books for March, and I'm reading about 7 for April, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited, so let's just dive on in. Okay, so in March, I read a total of 2,291 pages, which to me sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot given that I didn't read lots of books, well, a lot of pages that I was supposed to. So, but I'll get to that in a little bit. If you watched my March TBR February wrap-up, which posted really late, you'll recognize a couple of these books, so let's just jump right in. So the first book that I finished up was Air Fire. Okay, I'm part of a reread group. We're rereading the Throne of Glass series. Obviously, this is a 5-star read for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be rereading it. But I'd already read a good chunk of it, so I only ended up reading like 343 pages of this one in March because we started it in February. But I finished it up. And this is the 3rd book of the Throne of Glass series, so if you haven't read Throne of Glass, I really recommend it, but also I'll be doing a reread video, so check that out. So that was book 1. The second book I read was an audiobook, and it was called Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it is a mystery thriller. I don't think it's a horror, but maybe it's supposed to be. And it was really good, except that there were certain things that I just struggled with, which I'll go more in detail about later during my book review. But I gave this one 3 stars, and yeah, that's just a me personal. I liked it, I just didn't love it. It was 384 pages. Yes, I did the audiobook, I understand, but I still count it. I just am really looking for a book that has a true ghost story. So if anybody knows any true ghost stories, let me know. Or it doesn't have to be like true, but where it's actual ghosts and not explained away. So that was book 2. The 3rd book that I read, I awkwardly have the shell because I'm loaning it out to a friend. But the 3rd book I read is The Cousins by Karen McManus. I did not say with book 2, but for Home Before Dark and for The Cousins, both of these books were book club books. So Home Before Dark was for my spooky book club. This one I do with author Angela Ann. That's no longer her Instagram handle. I'll correct it in my bio. But it was great. They had a Zoom discussion. I missed it because I was hectically running around. But this book, it was my first Karen McManus book. I know this one has really mixed reviews. I gave it 5 stars. It's a young adult thriller. It was a really easy read. I had like planned it out to read little snippets, and then I was home for spring break and just finished it. So I really liked it. I loaned it out to a friend, so hopefully she likes it as much as I do. This one was 337 pages. It was great. I was about it. Okay. And then came this series. Okay. So I only have this one because I let my friend borrow the other 2. But I read Shadow and Bone for book 4. I gave it 4 stars. I don't know if I'm spoiled by other fantasy books. It could totally be that. But so far this whole series, and now that I've actually finished this one in April, this whole series has been kind of a 4-star for me. So I will be talking about that later in book reviews, I'm sure. But, you know, Shadow and Bone, it's young adult fantasy, it's got mystery, it's got world building. I liked it. It just wasn't perfection, but 4 stars, really solid read, really recommend it. I'm excited to see what Netflix does with it. So Shadow and Bone was 358 pages. Then I jumped straight in to the second book. Not that you can see that. So those two I've read. And the second book is Siege and Storm. Again, 4-star read. Again, young adult fantasy. This one was 435 pages. And then I started this one in March, Ruin and Rising. I only got to about page 274, so there was that. But it was on the path to be a 4-star read for me as well, and yeah. But I am excited. I'm going to delve into these, and hopefully when Netflix comes out, it all kind of feeds into what I'm already picturing, because I'm always a little worried about TV adaptations. So yeah, Grishaverse. I do recommend this book, even though I gave it 4 stars, because 4 stars is not bad. I feel like I need to keep saying that. So those were books 4, 5, and 6, because I'm doing a buddy read. So, you know, finishing 4, 5, or Shadow of Bone, Siege of Storm, Ruin and Rising, and now I just have 6 of Crows and Crooked Kingdom to read before the 23rd. All right, and the last book that I was working on this month was The Assassin's Blade. So last month I said I thought we were reading. Also, like, hello, gorgeous. Sorry, still obsessed. I thought we were gonna jump into Queen of Shadow. Pretty sure at some point we like talked about the order we were reading the books, and I like stopped paying attention. So in my reread group, we read this one before reading Queen of Shadows. I don't know what I just said. I hope I said Queen of Shadows. But anyways, I've actually never read this one. I've owned it for forever, but I've never read it. So it was, it's nice to get to read. I was supposed to be through page 379 by the end of March. That did not happen. I only hit 160 pages, mostly because I jumped into like Shadow of Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising, and then I had some headache days where like it was either read or don't read, and I picked don't read, and so that was the book that ended up getting pushed aside. Thankfully, it's easy reading, and I do need to lesson plan tomorrow, but I'll probably get caught up on my reading tomorrow. So I'm supposed to finish that by Monday, so we'll see how that goes. And there was another book on my list to read, which was Nosferatu by Joe Hill. Luck. I'm gonna take a time out on that book. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just not in the mood. Like, I really don't understand. Normally, I'm much better about pushing through books. I'm not a do not finisher, so I will finish it at some point. But I can be the person who's like, I quit. I want this book. I want to read something else for a little while. And I think I'm just at the point where I need to stop putting it on my TBR for a month or two, and then maybe come back to it in the summer or try again in October. So yeah, Nosferatu is going to take a little break, and yeah. So overall, I feel like I am actually pretty impressed with how much I read. I read one more book than I normally do. I normally read about 4 a month. I read 5. I did move my Goodreads reading challenge. It was at 30, and then after spring break, I had really condensed it down. I was just kind of like, I'm gonna move it up to 45, so I have added or made that change. So that's really exciting. I had read 14 out of 45 by the end of March, so I think 45 will be a good goal. unless I keep reading more than I think I will, in which case I'll have to move it up. Okay, so let's talk about April. This is my stack, but I'm missing a book. So there's that. And let's just jump into it. So I'm actually recording this in April, the first weekend of April. But so my first book that I wanted to read was Ruin and Rising. As I predicted, it was a 4-star read. I actually finished it today. Shout out, sitting in line to get my second COVID vaccine, because that's how I finished this today. And yeah, so I've knocked this series out. I'm doing it as a buddy read. I have 2 more books to go. But, you know, overall, I really like this series, and that's exciting. So I'm glad that, you know, I've already knocked 1 book out. I think I was putting too much pressure on myself to get these done quickly, and then I forgot that I knocked 2 of them out during spring break. And it's like, come on, self, be nice. You went back to work, everything was chaos, you star tested, blah, 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 blah. So I'm trying, but I did knock this one out. So already starting off the new month with a win. Then the second book is, I really need to finish this Assassin's Blade. I was at 160. I was reading today, so I'm almost at 200 pages now. So, you know, I'll get this knocked out. And it's going to be a 5-star read for me, because that's just how it is. I have about 230 pages left or something like that. So, you know, I'll get it done. These 2, I mean, this one was always going to be finished in April, but, you know, the sooner the better. Knocking 2 out that quickly into the month will be great. Next book I don't own yet. I actually need to order it from Amazon. But I'm going to be reading Wilder Girls by Rory Power. A YA fiction suspense, or that's what it says on Goodreads, because I looked it up. It's supposed to be 357 pages. And I'm predicting it'll be a 4-star read. This is for my book club on my friend's Patreon. So I'm excited to read it. I really liked The Cousins, which I read for her book club last month. So I'm hoping that this will be along the same lines, but we'll see. You know, part of me is starting to think with all these book clubs that I really need to get a library card. Maybe that'll be my summer goal. I don't even know where the nearest library is. Oh, that's a lie. Yes, I do. I wonder if they're open next weekend. They must be. Maybe that's what I'll do next weekend. Because I gotta stop buying all these books. Anyways, so Wilder Girl, I'm predicting 4-star read. Maybe it'll surprise me. We'll see. I'll keep you updated. All right, and book number 4 that I'm going to be reading is this, oh, don't move all the books, is The Chunky Boy, Imaginary Friend. We're reading this for my spooky book club, so I'm really excited because I feel like I've been putting it off because it's a bigger book, but it's not. Oh, my page is folded. Sorry, hold on. I don't know how this page got folded, but I gotta fix it. I don't know how this page got folded when I don't go. Okay, whatever. I attempted to read it once. I don't know if you can see my teeny tiny bookmark. I got all the way to page. I'm curious now. Where did I get it? Why are there 2 bookmarks? Page 35, it looks like. Yeah, page 35. So I didn't make it very far, but I'm hoping that by reading it with a book club, I'll actually be encouraged to keep reading it. I'm predicting a 5-star. I loved Perks of Being a Wallflower. It took him this long to write this book. I'm hoping it's just as good. It's 705 pages. So, you know, we'll see. I actually am probably going to spend the rest of the night plotting out how many chapters I need to read a day to get it done by the day we're supposed to discuss it. So we'll see how that goes. Then the next book that we're going to start, I don't know if we'll finish it. I said this last month, but then I was wrong about us reading it. So this month I'm right, because there's nothing else after this one. So Queen of Shadows. I love Queen of Shadows. That is all. No, I don't know if we'll finish this one this month. I could, but I really like sticking to the reading schedule because then I'm not as overwhelmed. So we'll see. But yeah, this is my reread. It's my reread group. Predicted 5 stars, as all of this series is for me. 648 pages. All these books are really long. I think I may have gotten myself into some trouble. We'll see how this goes. Book number 6 is 6 of Crows. I don't know. I know it's the same world. And that's all I think it is. I assume it is because Netflix is combining all 5 of these books. So, I'm assuming these are all, oh, that's pretty. How did I not notice that it does that? So this is gonna sound bad. I'm predicting this is a 4-star read because of the fact Shadow and Bone trilogy were 4-star reads. So I'm predicting that this will also be a 4-star read. So we will, I guess, see how that goes. But yeah, it's 465 pages. I really am once I get these kind of chunked out and okay, I need to read this many pages on these days, I'm probably gonna really focus on knocking this one out first so that I can get it done, and then I can jump into Crooked Kingdom. Also, look, this is not a sticker. You know how upsetting that is? I don't want to always remember that this is a Netflix book. Hello? I mean, I was already reading it, but now I have to remember it's from Netflix forever. All Netflix did was make me move it to the top of my TBR. Anyways, right now, again, based off of the trilogy, I'm predicting this will be a 4-star read. I could be wrong. I could like this one even more than I like the original 3 and be like, oh my gosh, these are all 5-star, but I don't know. I don't know. So I guess we will see, but that one is 561 pages. So yeah, we'll kind of see how this month goes. So realistically, in March, I read 2,291 pages. If I get through all of these books, it will be 2,449 pages for April. And I actually am going to try and do the bullet journal thing that I said I was going to do that I didn't do. We'll see if that gets done. Sometimes I say things and then I get overwhelmed by my books. So that's a thing. However, I'm excited to kind of look at what I'm reading this month. I did have a lot of fun last month. I would like to get to read more, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's April. My school year is over on May 26th or 27th, which is earlier than normal for us. So I'm really excited to actually get some time to read over the summer, which is when I'll probably knock out even more books and I'll get ambitious and start planning big TBRs that might get done. So, I'm hoping, but I'm trying to not beat myself up if I don't do my TBRs. Otherwise, if you guys have any book suggestions for May, please let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for new books. I'm trying to branch out. I'm trying to read authors that I don't always read or I don't normally read. I'm trying to also make sure I'm getting a wide view of the young adult world because I do teach 8th grade. So I like being able to talk to them about it. And yeah, if you like this video, thumbs up. What books are you guys reading? Let me know down in the comments, and I will see you guys there. Otherwise, I hope you are having a great start to your April, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.